Connecticut Morning News begins now.
You're watching the Fox Connecticut Morning News. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Sarah Cody. We'll get to the morning's headlines in just a moment. But first, as you're starting your day, a live look outside over New Haven. And meteorologist Dan Amaranti is standing by with the latest on the forecast. Dan.
Yeah, good morning, Sarah. Morning, everyone. We do have that rain falling heavily in spots this morning. Not the most fun morning to be out and about if you're headed to Sunday services or going out shopping or going out to brunch, whatever you got. It's looking wet across much of the state right now. The Hartford area all the way down to New Haven, some showers, but the heaviest rain falling right now right around the Stevenson area. Look at that. Some lightning strikes popping up right around Monroe. You had a little heavy burst of rain earlier, about an hour ago. Now the Seymour area dealing with that rain over towards Derby, Shelton, Ansonia, towns like that just getting poured upon. And if you aren't getting poured upon right now and you're in this area, you're about to. You're probably hearing some thunder as well. People seeing some lightning strikes this morning as well. So that's a pretty potent storm right now moving through, generally west to east. The Waterbury area getting drenched. Naugatuck, you can see Southington, Cheshire, all getting the rain this morning. Wolcott also dealing with that. Woodbury, Bristol, Burlington, Avon seeing some more moderate rain. Not really heavy, but still enough to get your attention out there. And then the New Haven area over towards Clinton, Madison, you're seeing that. East Haddam, Durham, Willimantic, Windsor Locks, Hartford, all these towns are getting the rain this morning. So just about everybody. It's continuing to slide generally west to east, as I mentioned, but there's a little bit of a southeasterly component to it. So it's going to continue to move through, and then as we go on for the middle of the day, we'll try to get some sunshine in here and things will look a little better as that rain starts to taper off a bit. Temperatures right now are in the 60s and 70s. It's mild and it is muggy. 73 in New Haven right now with that rain falling. 72 in Waterbury, 70 in Danbury and New Milford. Dew points are up there as well in the 60s to around 70 degrees. So this is some pretty humid air, and we'll keep that humid air around during the day today. So you can see some showers and thunderstorms that may pop up later today. So just have the umbrella nearby. Not a washout, but if you're at the beach, it's going to be a mostly cloudy day. Not the best day to be outside. So temperatures in the 82 to 88 degree range, as I mentioned, and tonight will just be more muggy weather overall. We'll talk about that plus a heat wave in our 7-day forecast coming up in just a little bit. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Dan. New this morning, Berlin police are investigating a deadly motorcycle crash on the Berlin Turnpike. It happened just after midnight near Overhill Road. Police say the motorcyclist was making a U-turn when he crashed into the side of a car. The 29-year-old was transported to Middlesex Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. The driver of the car underwent surgery at Hartford Hospital, and she is now in guarded condition. The road was closed for several hours. Services will be held for a Massachusetts Marine who was tragically killed in the Chattanooga shooting rampage last week. The public is invited to honor Marine Gunnery Sergeant Thomas Sullivan at a wake from 1 to 5 p.m. at the T.P. Sampson Chapel of the Acres in Springfield. The 40-year-old two-time Purple Heart recipient was one of 5 service members killed in the attack on military facilities last week. A private funeral will be held for him on Monday. A Waterbury man who drowned earlier this week will be laid to rest today. On Wednesday, 22-year-old Michael Omogban was pulled under by a current while swimming in the Farmington River. His body was recovered several hours later. Omogban's family says he was an athlete and was going to be a senior at Southern Connecticut State University this fall. The funeral will be held from 1 to 5 p.m. at the East Side Memorial Funeral Home in Waterbury. In Massachusetts, a candlelight vigil was held Saturday as investigators try to identify a girl whose body was found trapped in a trash bag on Deer Island 1 month ago. Reed Lamberty reports.
Along the jagged outline of Deer Island, where 1 month ago today, tragedy washed up on land.
I will fear no evil, for you are with me.
A collection of strangers huddled against the sun-splashed Boston skyline for this unnamed girl.
Pray for her family. Hopefully they, get a conscience and come forward.
The body of Baby Doe, found by a woman walking her dog, has not been claimed. No one has come forward to identify her.
It was really heartbreaking, so I wanted to raise awareness and hopefully somebody will recognize her.
Investigators have launched a massive social media campaign in an effort to find out who she is. This computer-generated image viewed tens of millions of times globally, attracting hundreds of tips and leads, but no answers. 84 billboards across 50 locations bear the haunting message, "Did you know me?" She's estimated to be 4 years old and was found wrapped in a zebra blanket wearing polka dot leggings.
It hurts because they had to go right by my house to come here.
I think it's brought attention to a whole lot of parents out there, just to love your children and to always to think of them.
Many parents here thinking of one child in particular, a face without a name, a girl without an identity.
My son has the belief that if he writes something, he'll bring her back, or, we'll find who she is.
A Fox follow-up now on an armed standoff in Torrington that started Friday night and finally ended peacefully early yesterday morning. Police had to negotiate for hours with 60-year-old Timothy Ventry, who barricaded himself in a house on Torringford Street. Police arrived there around noon Friday after getting a report of an emotionally disturbed person and shots fired. A SWAT team was called to the scene, and neighbors were asked to stay in their homes until Ventry was taken into custody just before 2 a.m. Police also seized several guns, some that may have been fired at officers during the incident. Ventry faces multiple charges and is being held on $2 million bond. Stamford police are searching for this man, and they need your help figuring out who he is. Look closely. They say he led police on a chase, crashed his car, and then drove off. That happened back on July 15th near Frederick Street and Maple Avenue. Anyone with information is asked to call Stamford police. Former Waterbury mayor and convict Philip Giordano is seeking a reduced sentence. In 2003, he was convicted of sexually assaulting 2 young girls while in office and is currently serving a 37-year sentence. The Connecticut Post reports the 52-year-old testified before a U.S. District Court judge for nearly 2 hours on Friday. Giordano claims he wasn't told he could have taken a plea deal that would have capped his prison sentence to 15 years. New information on a stabbing early yesterday morning in Willimantic. Police say a man was stabbed with a machete after a fight between him and a group on Milk Street. Officers say the victim was hit in the head with a large rock and then slashed with a machete. He was treated at the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries and is expected to be okay. Police say they have a person of interest and expect an arrest within the week.
From what I understand, there are several people that are involved in this this investigation. Information is leading us to more than one person that may be subject to arrest. But again, it would be too early for me to comment on who is getting arrested.
Willimantic Police K-9 team assisted in the investigation. Anyone with information is asked to come forward. The boyfriend charged with killing a reality TV star from Connecticut now claims he was acting in self-defense. Loredana Neshi was known as the legal diva in her show on the Sundance Channel. She was from Meriden and attended Quinnipiac Law. Her longtime boyfriend, Robert Reagan, called police to the couple's Redondo Beach home early Wednesday after a domestic dispute. His attorney claims Neshi tried to attack Reagan with a hunting knife. He tried to fight her off, and she was stabbed during the struggle. Friends say the couple had a volatile relationship and were headed for a breakup. Reagan is charged with her murder. His arraignment is set for next month. Happening today in Connecticut, veteran and double amputee Toron Gall will arrive in New London as part of a 3,800-mile journey. He calls it his ride across America. Gall is hand cycling for 63 days on behalf of the Semper Fi Fund. He started in San Diego on June 1st and is expected to conclude this journey at Arlington National Cemetery on August 2nd. The organization provides financial assistance to wounded Marines and their families. He's expected to arrive in town at 9 a.m. Also happening today, Jane Doe No More is sponsoring a self-defense class in West Hartford. It's called Escape Alive Survival Skills and will be held from 11 to 3 this afternoon at the Mandel Jewish Community Center on Bloomfield Avenue. Over 200 participants will learn about what to do in dangerous situations and listen to survivors of sexual violence. Jane Doe No More is a Connecticut-based charity dedicated to improving the way society responds to survivors of sexual assault. And Fox Connecticut is the #1 TV station in Connecticut at softball. The annual Connecticut TV softball game yesterday morning at Millwoods Park in Wethersfield pitted us against Channel 8 and Channel 3 and NBC Connecticut. Can you believe it? Fox dominated, but the real winners were the charities that benefited from the fun. Specifically, the charity we supported, Camp Current. And thanks to everyone who came out to say hello. Coming up on the Fox Connecticut Morning News, President Obama continues his trip in Africa this weekend. We'll share his controversial message to the leaders of Kenya. And tense moments for several tourists last night. We'll tell you exactly where this fire broke out.
And a lot of us are seeing the rain right now, some pretty heavy rain, but later on today, there may be a couple of showers and thunderstorms popping up across the area. So we'll keep an eye out for that. It looks like tomorrow we'll do it all over again, and then the big time heat comes in for the middle of the week. We'll talk about some 90s coming up.